Welcome to this new tutorial. So before we start, I have an announcement to make. This is going to be the last episode of this series. I'm not going to be continuing it. Reason being is, one, I think it's kind of hard for people to get into this tutorial series as you have to kind of start from episode 1 and follow like tens of hours of tutorial before you can get here. And the second reason is I think I've shared a lot of my knowledge already, and if you followed along, you should be ready to start making your own game now using the knowledge you've acquired so far. So yeah, so this is the last episode of this, and that doesn't mean that I won't be making any more tutorials also, but I won't be continuing this series specifically. So yeah, this is the last one. Anyway, let's get into the tutorial now. Welcome to this new tutorial. So today we are going to learn how to use custom calculation to change our attributes. Right now we are hard coding our attributes, like for example our MaxHealth is being hard coded to 100 and stuff. So it's time to learn how to do this in the C++. First thing I'm gonna do is go to my attribute set, and I'm gonna add a few more attributes. Now we have two new attributes to play around with. Another thing that I'm gonna do is go to my base character and separate my attributes into categories. I'm gonna create let's see. Let's make a main attributes and secondary attributes. Let's make sure that they are initialized too. So apply. Perfect. I'm gonna do the secondary attribute first, then the primary main attributes. The reason I'm doing it in this order is because my main attribute is going to use some of the attributes in the secondary attribute to initialize itself. So the secondary attribute has to first be initialized for the main attribute to initialize itself. But you're gonna see that in a moment. Now let's compile. Okay, let's find our gameplay effects and attributes. I'm gonna make 2 copies of these and name it main attributes, and this one's gonna be secondary. So let's find our main attribute. In main attribute, I'm going to use, let's delete all of this actually. A new one. Vitality is going to be one of my main attributes, and I'm going to override it and use a custom calculation, which we need to create, so we can set it here. Alright, I'm gonna make another one, and this one is going to be intelligence. Same thing here. Alright. I believe this is it. And in my secondary, actually, I do need to add. Let's also add MaxHealth here. Do the same thing. Custom calculation and MaxEnergy. Override custom calculation. Alright. So that's my main attribute. Okay, these are my main attributes. Now let's go to the secondary one. We do not need MaxHealth. We do need to set the health. Yes, we don't need to set the MaxHealth. We do need to set the energy. Physical attack and physical resistance is fine. And now we need 2 more. Wait, do we need 2 more? Oh, wait. No, you don't need any more. What am I saying? That's it. That's all the stats that I have, so that should be fine. And let's find the default one. Am I doing this correctly? Actually, I don't think I need the health and energy here either. Nope, I don't need these here. Now default attribute. In default attribute, I don't need the max health. I do need the health. Don't need the max energy. Huh? Am I doing this right? I kind of forgot how to do this a little bit. But we'll see. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's make our custom calculation class. So let's create a new C++ class, and we are gonna look for a gameplay mod magnitude calculation. That's the one. Alright, so let's name it the mod magnitude calculation vitality. Let's see. I'm gonna put that in my attribute sets folder. Let's create that one. Alright. And make another one. Alright, so I've made one for vitality, one for intelligence, one for max health, and one for max energy. Yeah, we should allow us to see a few examples on how to set this up. Yeah. Let's start with, let's do max health. Let's make a constructor here. And we need to override a function from this class called calculate base magnitude. Alright, this one. And I'm going to base my health on the character's vitality. So I need to capture the vitality. F gameplay effect attribute definition. Call it vitality def definition. Alright, and let's read the definition for these. Cool. Now in the constructor, we need to get the vitality, right? So vitality def attribute to capture equals. We need access to the attribute set. Let's include attribute set. This here. So UTP attribute set get vitality attribute. One vitality def attribute source now. Gameplay. We want it from not from the target, but from ourselves. So it's gonna be from source, and then vitality def dot be snapshot. If you want to snapshot or not, that's up to you. And then relevant attribute to capture. We need to add it. Vitality def. Here we go. Nice. Now let's delete this. You don't need that line. Don't need the super. Alright, let's work backward from here. Let's make a float vitality 0.f. And this is what I want to return. Alright, and now how do we get the vitality? So get capture magnitude. It needs the definition. What else? It needs a gameplay effect spec. Alright. Which is this thing. Actually, we already have it. Nice. So we can just pass that in. What else? It needs a aggregator evaluate parameters. This one we'll need to make. Alright. Let's do that. So to get that, we will need to first, I think, capture all the tags. Yeah, so let's do const gameplay tag container source tags capture source tags get tags. Voila. And actually here we don't need access to the tags on the target, as we are getting our vitality from our own character. But if you were getting let's say for example a defense from the enemy character or something, you would need to do the same thing but for the target instead. Let me just do it here so you know how to do that too. Container, just do target tags spec dot capture from the tag, and voila. Then we need an F aggregator. This thing, let's call it evaluation parameters. Right. Now evaluation parameters dot source tag. Yep, equals our source tags. And if you want to get the one from your enemy, you can do the same thing. Evaluation parameter, the target tag equals target tags. Here we go. Easy peasy. And now we can pass that in here. And next it needs a float, which is gonna be vitality here. Okay, cool. Now we have that set up. Now here you can do any calculation, complex calculation that you want to set up your vitality. I don't know what calculation you want to do. You could do, I don't know, vitality equals 10 times I don't know, if you have something like you want to capture your character level or something, you could do that here. But I'm just gonna return, let's just say vitality times 10.f. Which in this case vitality, yes, fine. Yeah, whatever my vitality is, I'm just gonna multiply it by 10, and that's what the value is gonna be for it. Okay. And that's gonna be my max health. Yeah. I'm a bit rusty on this one. I haven't done that in a long time. So I'm trying to remember how this works. But yeah, I think that's correct. So max health is gonna be our vitality multiplied by 10. Yep. That's good. I think that's done. So now that's set up. Let's do the same thing for intelligence. For max energy. And voila. And that's our max energy is gonna be whatever our intelligence is. Let's just say multiply by 5, and that's gonna be my energy. Now, of course, you can do whatever calculation you want to do here. That's totally up to you. I'm satisfied with this. I don't want to complicate things too much. So that's done. Now let's do vitality. Now here for my vitality, I'm actually gonna use let's use a character level. Right? We could make another attribute, character level, but I'm just gonna create one on my base character here. Let's make it public. Let's do a property. Make it read write. Edit anywhere, right? Let's do float. Let's call it character level. And by default, it's gonna be 1. Okay. This is what I'm gonna use. Okay, so back to my vitality here. I need to have access to the character to get that level from it. So let's do a gameplay effect context handle gameplay effect context handle. Let's call it equals. I can use my spec to get it. Get context. And from here I can do a base character. Let's call it source character. Of course, we need to include it here. Should include character, base character. Now I can do a cast base character from the gameplay what happened here? Gameplay effect context handle get source object. There we go. and that's how you get access to your character. Now I can do float vitality equals 0.f, and we can return vitality multiply by, let's just say source character level. That's gonna be my vitality. Yeah. Wait, that can't be 0 here. Let's do 10. That's gonna be the value of it. So it's gonna be 10 multiplied by whatever level my character is at. So every level that my character gains, its vitality is gonna increase by 10. Yep. I think I'm satisfied with that. Let's close that and go to intelligence and do the exact same thing. Alright, let's compile all of this and set them in the blueprint and see if it's all working. Now I got an error. Let's see, what is it about? I did not generate this definition. Okay, cool. That's done. Let's compile again. Okay, now that we are here, let's go to my character first. I want to go to my player character and make sure I have all my attributes set here. Yeah, so default attribute, main attribute, and the secondary. That's it. Let's do the same thing for the enemy. So main and secondary. Alright. All set here. Let's press play and see what happens. Oh. And we get a crash. Okay, so I figured out why it was crashing. So we do have to make sure we have set our custom calculation here before we run it. So go to your main attribute and make sure you set all your custom calculation here. So for vitality, set it to vitality, intelligence, MaxHealth, and energy. That's what I didn't do. That's why it crashed. So once you've done that, you should be able to launch it. Yep. And no problem now. Let's see, show debug. And I see intelligence is 10 and vitality is 10. Physical attack is 20, resistance is 10. That seems to be working correctly. Alright, cool. Now let's go to secondary attributes. Actually, not secondary attributes, default attributes. So here I'm gonna do custom calculation. So this one, actually not custom calculation, what am I doing? For this one, all I need to do is to use the attribute base, and then as attribute I'm going to select where is it? Backing attribute, MaxHealth. So when the game first starts, whatever my MaxHealth is what I want to set my health to. Cool, that makes sense. And the same thing applies for energy. So when it starts, we do attribute base and then baking attribute, and we use MaxEnergy. Alright, and which means that we do not need these ones here. Let's delete those. Save. So that's what we have currently. So we have default attribute, which contains our health and energy, which are being set from our MaxHealth and MaxEnergy. We got our secondary attribute, which is just our physical attack and resistance, and you can have any other stats that you want here. And then we have the main ones, which are the vitality, intelligence, MaxHealth, and MaxEnergy. Now, this is being initialized. I think this one is first, initialized first, and this one is after. The reason being is, what is it? Vitality. No, it's our max health depends on. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Huh. Yeah, that shouldn't work actually, because vitality should be here in our secondary attribute. Yeah, that would make more sense, so that it gets initialized first, and then our max health will use it to initialize itself. Yeah, so that shouldn't work. Let's see. Oh shit, wrong button. Yeah, you can already see it's not working. Yeah, health and max health are still at 0. That makes sense, so which means that this should have been here. Oh my god, what am I doing? Here we go. So vitality and intelligence should be here, and we can do override. Vitality, and same thing here, override, and intelligence. Alright, and here we don't need these stats. Yep, there we go. Alright, let's see. Does it work now? Yep. Oh, fantastic. Alright, so now we have 100 health, 100 max health, same for energy, 50-50, and all our stats. Everything seems good. What about the enemy? Yep. And now if I hit him, boom. Hey, look at that. Now we have 70 health and max health still at 100. It's working. Fantastic. Now we are using custom calculation to update our attributes. So you can create custom calculation for your physical resistance and physical attack also. Cool. And yeah, I think that's all that I wanted to show you guys in this tutorial. And like I said, this is the last one. So right now you should have a solid foundation to be able to make whatever game that you want, really. And well, I wish you good luck in your endeavors, and see you in the next tutorial that will probably not be a continuation of this one. And oh yeah, and I have a Patreon and Discord link in the description if you want to ask questions or whatever. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.